Hello YouTube. I'm back for another one, and today I am going to be talking about Borderlands 4 on the PlayStation 5. I'm playing on the base PS5. For a little context surrounding this, yes, I did get back to my home timeline. I did get taken back through a wormhole back to my home for the time being. So all of my stuff is still here. My PlayStation is obviously still here. So I was excited to play this. So, if you're somebody with no self-control, like myself, you bought this day one as soon as you saw the gameplay. So, I've been having a decent time with it. I've mostly been playing it on today, Saturday, the 13th. And I've been having a good time. It's a very good game, very solid. The story here is essentially, it establishes the big bad very early, literally right in the beginning actually. You're a vault hunter that lands on the planet Kairos, which is ruled by this guy called the Timekeeper. Now, he is something of a dictator-type figure. Seems like I haven't beaten the game yet. He seems very powerful. He installs a chip on everybody that allows him to control them. It's very interesting stuff. I mean, they kind of had to step it up to a very, very omniscient type of villain in order to top the Calypso twins from 3, who were very powerful. Who were the ones who were topping Handsome Jack, which was already, giant ship, so it's just natural progression for a sequel, to establish stakes. So, yeah, I'm not very far in. I actually, at the point that you're watching, I don't believe that I have even done the third main mission yet. So yeah, I was just off doing my own thing. The game apparently has a lot of content coming up that they already have decided they're going to release, which I think is a little weird. I don't like that whenever video games, they launch and then they already have like, oh, we're going to do this many things or whatever, because it just feels like, well, if you're going to do that, I mean, now I'm paying $70 for a video game. Why wouldn't you just make it the premium experience that $70 would be worth, because we're probably still used to paying $60. I mean, I am. I usually buy games on sale. I also have Game Pass and PS Plus, so I play a lot of games through that too. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be DLC. Hopefully it's going to be a good amount of content, because I believe it's pretty much the season pass type deal. It's $40, hopefully they make that worth it. But now we can move on to performance here, because this game, there was a lot of controversy surrounding this video game prior to release, primarily to do with, well, obviously Pitchford always causes controversy whenever it comes to Borderlands, but there was another couple factors here at play. So Borderlands games have not been historically optimized at launch. I remember playing 3 on the PS4 Pro whenever it first came out, and it was generally kind of crappy, and I think that they patched it so that it ran quite a bit better. But this game is on a whole different level in terms of pre-launch controversy. Whenever they released the spec requirements for PCs, I believe that the minimum initially was stated to be an 8-core CPU, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 2070, an RTX 2070, and the recommended, I believe, was a 3080 and an 8-core CPU, obviously. So that a lot of people, there were a lot of posts cropping up online going, hey, this is legitimately, this is way, way, way more powerful than 50% of Steam users based on the hardware surveys. And yeah, I was a little worried about that myself in the beginning. Before this came out, I was like, man, because I have a PC, but it's relatively low end, 1660 Super, Ryzen 5 5600X, 16 gigs of RAM, and you know, I was like, man, you know, I don't know how they're gonna run this on the Switch too. I don't know how this is going to look on the consoles. On the base PS5, I was very nervous. I was very close to pre-ordering this, but I had to wait because I was like, I don't want a broken game on my PlayStation or on my PC. I am glad to say that on PlayStation 5, at least base PS5, the performance has been pretty stellar in terms of what they already said. You know, it lives up to what they stated it would be, which is quality mode 30 FPS, performance 60 FPS. Obviously, this is not 120 FPS. That's disappointing, but hopefully they patch some of this and make it a bit smoother. I haven't noticed too many frame drops. I have not had a single crash. And yeah, the game's been really fun. And it looks pretty decent. I play on quality mode since it's a single-player game. I mean, if you're going to play with friends, you might want to put it on to performance. But my friends don't really play Borderlands. I have like one Borderlands friend. So maybe we'll party up and I'll put it on performance. But single-player, I've been playing on quality. And yeah, no real big hitches. This gameplay is in quality mode. So it's pretty smooth. Yeah, the one thing that some people might find a little screwy about the game is that, at least on PS5, PS5 Pro enhancements are off the table for the moment. They may update it. I would assume that they will update it to be optimized for the PS5 Pro. But we'll see. Yeah, the DRM situation on the PC was also something that was very alarming to a lot of people. I think that the chief reason that people got up in arms over the DRM, I mean, DRM's never good on a PC game because okay, so this is a Unreal Engine 5 game, which is already a somewhat bad engine. I mean, it can be used well, but a lot of developers really drop the ball whenever it comes to Unreal Engine 5 implementation on their game. So, you know, and that's kind of what happened here. People with top-tier rigs right now are kind of suffering, and I think that is due to the DRM, which obviously is going to put extra overhead on your PC while you're playing, running in the background. And just the Unreal Engine 5 implementation, because I really don't think that they knew what they were doing whenever they were developing this game with the engine. A 5090, I have heard struggles with this game to get it. You definitely are not getting much over 100 FPS, it doesn't seem like. From what I've read, at least. I'm sure that they will patch the game to an extent, but whenever it comes down to engine issues, I'm not sure how much power they actually have to change this. Hopefully they figure it out, because I mean, it's a $70 game. If you bought it for $100 or $120, I believe was the biggest version, 120, but I know that the $100 one was also a thing. You know, probably be really disappointed. Now, I was looking before, I was considering buying this on the PC, because I had seen that people did have it running on a pretty similar rig to mine, with DLSS, obviously, or FSR, I think it was. But I just figured, you know what, I don't want to have to settle for, like, low with FSR on my rig. So, because I'm not going to upgrade my PC for quite a bit. quite a bit of time here. So I just figured that it would be more convenient and more plug and play if I just got it on the PS5, which I was correct about. But yeah, I've played on both graphical settings on the PS5, and honestly, it runs pretty decently. It's not terrible. 30 FPS or 60 FPS depending, so yeah, there's that. They did change the inventory system, so it is a lot more sleek looking now, the Echo system. And speaking of Echo, they implemented Echo 4, and he essentially, you can pop him in to do essentially like a pulse scan of the map and highlight some stuff around you, objectives and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I've been having fun with the game. I've enjoyed the changes to the inventory UI. It's a lot more modern looking. My most recent Borderlands game that I've played, like, I've played 3, but like most recently I played 2, like I think a couple weeks ago. The inventory system was very dated, very dated. Just the design of it in general, the aesthetic, it was very comic booky, which is not bad, but it's very of its time, and kind of, it just does not feel premium anymore. So, you know, just because of the way that video games have gone, we've come to expect a different type of feeling with our navigational systems in the menus. So yeah, I mean, they definitely updated it. It's good. Customization wise, they added styles, which I believe are a new addition, but they have, you know, primary color, secondary color, tertiary, body, they have outfits for the body, and then they have the heads, as always. I think that it's, you know, they look good. The styles look good, to me, you know, and the decals on the armor and whatever are not, like, they don't look like crap, you know, they're pretty smooth looking. The texture work is good in this game, although I have noticed that in some spots, there is some blurring, and whenever you switch weapons, there's a texture streaming. It's like the texture streaming's behind or something, so it's like blurry, and there's pop-in textures on your guns whenever you switch guns. That is something that I've noticed in terms of visuals. Speaking of the guns are pretty good in this game. I like them. Some of these guns, I forget which brand it is, but they have alternating firing modes, so as you can see on the screen here, I'm playing with this SMG, but if I were to click down on the D-pad, it would take it to a pistol mode, so it would use pistol ammo, fire like a pistol. In the very beginning of the game, I had a pistol that had a shotgun mode. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I do like that, alternating firing modes. I don't remember if that was in 3. I think that it might have been, but I like this game way, way better than 3 so far. 3... Something about the aesthetic design of 3 did not jive with me. It was too bright or something, or I didn't like something about it. This game is much better aesthetically, in my opinion. Almost like the colors that make me sick or something, you know, like, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's something that I have gotten in a couple games. Like, I just don't like overly colorful games. This game is colorful, don't get me wrong, but they scaled it back from past titles, so. It's still cel-shaded and all that, though, so it still has the Borderlands charm and the Borderlands signature style. Yeah, so the characters, you know, they are, like, the haha cringy, you know, they're definitely a little cringy, but it's a lot better than it was in the past. At least as far as I've gotten. Again, like I said, I'm only level 10 here, so I have not played really all that much of the game. I played a couple hours today, and that's it. I booted it up last night, but I fell asleep. I was like, I got hungry, and then I went and ate, and then I was like, oh, fuck this, I'm going to sleep. But yeah, the game is very fun. For me. you know. And again, like in combat, you can see here this is quality mode. It's not really dropping frames. It is 30 FPS, but I grew up playing the original Xbox and the 360, you know, like in the PS3. I'm not picky about frame drops. As long as it's playable, as long as it's not like or not frame drops, but like 30 FPS is not an issue for me. I mean, most of the games that I played as a kid on the 360 were 30 FPS, 720p, so, you know, this is nothing new for me. And, you know, the visual fidelity is good, so no problems there for me. Yeah, but easily, this is, so far, for me, up there with Borderlands 1 and 2. I didn't really like the pre-sequel all that much. I didn't beat it. I played Borderlands 3 probably the most, but I didn't like it as much as the other ones. That doesn't sound sensible, but like, I kept restarting the game because I would play for like 2 days, and then I would leave the game. I would like go play another game for like a month or two, and then I would come back and be like, oh, I should play Borderlands 3. I don't feel like that's going to be an issue with this game. This game has me thoroughly hooked, and I will be definitely playing this game quite a bit consistently. I won't be, you know, going around restarting. I could see myself making quite a few characters on this game just to see how they are. I picked Amon, which is like the Berserker type in this game. I mean, that's the closest analog I can think of. He has 2 axes. Well, I've only played with one of his trees, which is the axes. You'll see me throwing them here. So it's a frost and a fire, and they apply those respective elemental damages to the enemy that you hit them with. And then he can form a like a boomerang double-headed axe thing, like a double-ended axe. It's ice, and then whenever it comes back to you, it's fire, so it applies both elemental damages. He does a good amount of damage. Yeah, so I definitely like him as a character. I typically play the soldier archetype, but I'm gonna be honest, I went off a character design this time. I was like, fuck it, who looks the coolest? Because all of the characters seem solid. I mean, you have your Siren, you know, you have your Exo Soldier, Rafa, I believe. He looks kind of like the guy with the Beastmaster from 3. I forget his name. Who I played in 3 was the Beastmaster. But who I played back whenever I first played these games, back on the 360. In Borderlands 1 and 2, I played Brick, and I think I played Salvador in 2 the first time around. So, you know, I'm just, essentially, this is nothing new for me. You know, it was an outlier that I picked a soldier class in 3, or the Beastmaster class in 3. Typically, I would go back through and make a soldier class one. And then in my most recent 2 playthrough, I had Zero as my Vault Hunter. So I was tooling around with him. I never really messed with the sniper rifles too much in Borderlands games until very recently, so I like them though. They're pretty decent. But yeah, huge variety of guns in this game. I think that it's ridiculous. I had to look it up to verify it whenever I heard this, but I believe that they said 30 billion guns, which obviously is not individual guns. That is a mix of traits that's going to be randomly generated with a randomly generated name, probably 2 pieces of a word smashed together like normal, you know, but that is still a lot of variety. A lot of variety. You know, way more than 3 even. So, you know, yeah, I mean, it's not lacking in the way of content. And one thing that I very much appreciate about this game, it's not like large open areas with loading screen between like it was in 3. It seems to be a totally open world, which I appreciate. I think that keeps the immersion up. Yeah, it's very cool. Just being able to walk around without having to go up to a a road that has a thing that you need to click on to shoot through a loading screen. Just keeps you in the game the entire time. So yeah, I'm fairly certain in terms of area, this is the biggest Borderlands game in terms of like explorable area and playable area. So that's pretty cool, and that's pretty groundbreaking for the series, because really it was more in terms of design, it was less like Red Dead Redemption 2 and more like almost like a Resident Evil type thing, not in the fact that it's a house, but in the fact that it's multiple. If you think about the areas like rooms that you can go through and then come back to, like that, So I'm glad they took it from sectional into being a full-blown open world game. Yeah, I mean, the game is just it's steeped in atmosphere. I really like this world. Pandora started to wear on me by the time that 3 came out. So I'm glad that they did a switch. I'm glad that they switched the way that the Psychos look. I think that that's a very fresh take, and they still have the classic Psychos running around with a new design, which is very cool. They're the Rippers, so yeah, they're very cool looking enemies though. And rather than tanks this time around, I do believe there are dwarf enemies in this game. I think they're just called Rippers though. Instead of a tank, what you have is these things called what are they called? I forget what they are. It'll come to me. But they're like a dude with a torso, but no legs, and they have bionic arms on their backs. Really cool. Some of them are like melee-oriented enemies, which is cool. They run up and they like do a spin move or something. Yeah, in this game, they're like these Rift Champions, I think they're called, which is like a random, maybe not random, but it's like a world event with a boss in it. It's like a big bubble, and you go in and you have to stay within that bubble and beat the boss. I believe that in this gameplay, I fight one at some point, or maybe I already did. I'm not really looking. I'm just kind of focusing on talking right now. But yeah, so, good enemy variation. And the same good gameplay loop that you had in the original Borderlands games. They added a new mechanic, which you've probably seen me utilizing. It's like a whip. There are points that you can latch onto to throw yourself. This game almost feels sort of like Doom Eternal in terms of movement. You have an air dash. You can dash to the side, like strafe dash, basically. You have a jetpack, which it feels like Destiny, kind of. You double jump and then you tap it again and you get the jetpack effect. If you combine them, if you like double jump and then dash forward and then you use the jetpack, you can clear really long distances, which is very cool to me. I enjoy any sort of movement upgrade in a video game. I like the new COD movement. I have always liked hovering features, or like jetpacks. So, this is no surprise that I like this. It just speeds it up and makes it feel more dynamic, in my opinion, combat encounters. The weapon design in this game is very cool. I've noticed in the beginning, I literally was only getting revolvers, and I was like, man, I hope that this game doesn't just have, like, Western-looking weapons in it. That would be kind of a bummer. But no, they have, all of the strange-looking Borderlands weapons and, Torg, and no Hyperion this time. Apparently that comes in the form of attachments for weaponry, rather than individual weapons, which honestly, they brought in a new class of weapons called the Order, I believe, which is the weapon brand of the main enemies of the Timekeeper's army. And they have some decent weaponry, but I've noticed that it's a lot of charge weaponry, like hold it down and then you get a burst. Like this gun right here is an Order gun. And I'm not a huge fan of the charging fire, but I'm sure that some people will be. I'm just using it because statistically is the best weapon that I have on me at the moment. So yeah, yeah, pretty much it's Borderlands, and my experience has been good. I'm sure that some people probably will not enjoy it solely due to the environment change or something like that, you know. And I'm sure that there's a whole lot of people that got turned off by the performance issues. But on console, again, I can verify that it runs fairly well. I mean, it's a pretty decent, it's a pretty decently running game, honestly. And I've had a blast. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of all that I got to say. I might just leave you guys here with some gameplay, some more. I have about 10 minutes more footage, 13 minutes, that I could leave you with. So, yeah, I think that I will just let this video play out, and you guys can watch and see if it seems like something that you would like to play, something that's worthy of the $70 price point, or if you would like to wait for a sale or wait for patches whenever they optimize the game a bit better, and get some higher frame rates. But okay, guys, yep, fun game, and yeah, I'll leave it here. Leave you with this gameplay here.
We moved all the injured down here for safety. Most of us are just mechanics, ranchers, food growers. Or we used to be. Now, we're soldiers.
You'll be good in no time. Drink up. Hydration, people. No more passing out. Protein for you. Anyone needs anything, just ask. How about you? You hurt? Hungry? Thirsty? Doesn't matter. I got you. I bet you worked up an appetite thrashing our dollar to Saul's soldiers. But good news, a fresh batch of homemade protein bars just came out of the oven. Welcome to the Outbounders, friend.
And welcome to the Crimson Resistance.
Happy to join. The Outbounders started small, with a dream of leaving Kairos. But the idea of freeing the whole planet, very exciting. This secret weapon Saul mentioned has me worried, though. We're barely holding our own out here as it is.
Then we take him down together. Where do we start?
No clue. But if information is king, Saul's spymaster wears that crown. He'll have the intel on any secret weapons, and we know exactly where you can find them. But first, head up and see my second-in-command, Conway. They've got a thank you gift for helping us out. Oh, and I've removed the lockdown on the vending machines and such up top, in case you want to do some gearing up. This leadership gig
Has kept me off the front lines, but watching you fight made me wish I'd been out there too. Risking it all for the dream.
blood-soaked hands. Hurry! Supplies are limited. If you see a dictator today, kill it. You're charmed, I'm sure. Sucker, what? Oh, the van's gonna love this. The smell of this thing. Where were you keeping it? Just scratch the serial number off, and she'll be right as rain. Be off with you then. I don't mind. You're charmed, I'm sure. Oh. Not sure what I'll do with it. That'll keep the bodies at bay. Wait! Why am I buying your shite? Sucker? What? I mean, you know. Hope your grip's as strong as your... Yo, Vault Hunter.